Let's dig a little deeper. Joining me from West Lafayette, Indiana is Ahmed Hassanein. He's a professor of nuclear engineering at Purdue University. Professor, we heard in Jack Barton's piece so much concern and criticism facing Japan. We've heard from the IAEA that we shouldn't be concerned. They're with negligible impact only on people and the environment. We've also heard this could be disastrous. So we've heard both sides here. What are we supposed to believe?
Well, thank you for inviting me. I believe that the IAEA and the World Health Organization really did extensive studies. So over 2 years, and there were members from China, US, Russia, Germany, and etc. So I believe the calculation is correct. And since this amount of water to be released is less than 1% of the water over 17 days. So this will give us indication if they continue to monitor the level of radioactivity in the water, and if it doesn't change from the normal expected, then it should be very safe.
Is this about what Japan is doing per se, or is it the amount of water that has caused alarm, Professor? We're talking about more than 1 million tons of water, but over 30 years.
Right. So the amount of radioactivity is released is less than 1% than the allowed. For example, less than 100 becquerel, while the safe amount of tritium in water was estimated by both the IAEA and WHO to be 10,000. So the amount is released is 1,000 times less than the level set by the WHO. So I still believe this is a very small amount of radioactivity. However, I understand the concern from the people. It's just like maybe that the public has to be educated a little bit, especially the fishermen, because they're concerned if this people will not buy their product, then of course it will affect them. But it's actually, they have the right to be concerned, but it's supposed to be from the WHO and IAEA should help in trying to explain to the people that.
So are you saying right now, based on what you've seen, you don't have any concerns, and this is more about reputational or economic damage and less about safety?
That is true. I would be more secure if for the next 17 days to see the data, to assume that the diffusion, etc., the formation of tritium, that's as expected and not increased. So that will give us many confident thought about continue to do that.
Professor, what were some of the other options for Japan? If not releasing, all this water, treated radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean, what other options did Japan have?
I don't think they have many options. They have already 1,000 tanks containing this water. So I don't know if they have additional space to store more on the site. So that's another concern. The other thing is they remove most of radioactivity from the water. It's just that tritium formed tritiated water, and it's very hard to remove because it's similar to the regular water. So that's why there is no choice really of unless the concentration is much more. For example, in nuclear fusion or so, when we use tritium, if the concentration is much more, there is other ways to remove the tritium then. But for this very low, it's very small to remove it.
All right. We'll certainly appreciate your take. Thank you so much, Professor Ahmed Hassanein.